Hello everybody, it's Jim the Gentleman Crafter, and today I wanted to show you how to make a round box. I've had a couple of people, well, quite a few actually, email me and say that they couldn't find a round box like that, like I made for the Halloween panorama for Graphic 45. So I'm going to show you how to make one. Once again, some great suggestions were oatmeal boxes. Those wine boxes, I think that's what Sharka used, was she cut down one of those gifted wine boxes that you put a bottle of wine in, and she used that. Anything round. So how to make a box, a round box. Okay, here we go. Be back in a second. Okay, everybody, I'm back. Let me just give you some tips on Chipboard. Now, I love Chipboard. You know me. If it could be made out of Chipboard, I'm going to make it. So, but I am not the authority, but this is just what I've learned. Okay, so on Chipboard, there are basically two sides. Okay, so one side's a little bit more rigid. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit more rigid. There's one side that bends a whole lot more than the other. Okay, and so if I'm making my projects, when I do a span across something, I'm obviously going to be using the harder side than this. You know what I mean? This bends way too much to cover a span. This doesn't. I mean, it bends, but it's not near as much as this, okay? So look at your chipboard, find the stronger side for things that go across things that you want a little bit more support to. On things that you want to make round, like this round box we're fixing to make, you want to go with the side that curves more. Okay, now call me crazy, but once again, there are two different sides to chipboard. Okay, the way it's finished, and I know that you may think I'm crazy, but this is really what I feel. There is a smoother side, and there is a side that is a little bit more raised in texture. Okay, which means nothing to anybody except for me, so I don't know why I'm telling you that. But really, if you're gonna wet chipboard, wet it on the side that has a little bit more of a texture than the smoother side that's been finished. Okay? I know it looks the same, but there is truly a difference. Okay? So that's just some tips. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I cut my chipboard down to 4 inches because our original container for the panorama was a 4-inch container. I believe that's correct. Yes, 4 inches, okay? So if you cut a 12-inch strip by 4 inches wide, it will cover a circle that is 3 3/4 inch in diameter. Okay, here is what I just made. Okay, and I'm gonna show you how to do this. So on this, what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to cut. You've heard me talk about my structure strips. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut something similar, and it's just gonna be some craft cardstock without the score line in the middle. So I'm gonna cut I'm gonna cut one 1-inch strip. I'm going to cut 2 pieces from that are 4 inches long. So 4 inches and 4 inches. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my score tape. And then I'm going to use my new knife. Love my new knife. Look how big and juicy that is. It's like good enough for my hands. Okay. So I'm going to put this down. I need my glasses. Hold on. I'm going to put this down next to the edge and and cut that. Okay, so I did that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my textured side, which is here. I'm going to go ahead and apply one of these to that side. Just anywhere, just line it up. If you don't get it right on, or you've got a little bit of overage on one side, doesn't matter because you can cut it off with scissors or a knife. Okay, and then so I did that on the back side. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to do one on this side. So I'm pulling at one side of the structure strip. I'm sorry, one side of the strip with tape. And I'm going to put that down here on this side. So I've got one up, one down, right? Okay, I'm going to flip it back over to my textured side. And y'all, really, it doesn't really matter. It'll work both ways. It really, really will. So I know that I'm crazy about that, but I don't know what to say. So anyway, I've got my spritz bottle, and I'm spritzing it with water. Okay, and I'm going to rub that in just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to get some paper towel real quick. Paper toweling, and kind of rub off a little bit. So okay, so what I'm going to do, you can see it wants to go this way. So this is going to be the inside, because this is going to be, there I go again. It's going to be a little bit more ripply than if you did it on the finished side. Okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to pull one of the structure strip off here. Okay, I'm going up to this edge like that and kind of forcing it around. I'm going to line up the two ends right there. Do you see that? Lining it up. I'm going to stick it down here. I'm going to turn it around at the same time, and it does its thing. I'm going to adhere those together, which is that side. So I've got the inside done, right? It looks kind of deformed, but it'll be okay. So I'm going to go around over here, and I'm pulling this structure strip up here, and I'm going to put that, I'm going to kind of push it down like that. Don't push it down and crease it, just push it down and get it like that. And I'm just going to like kind of work it in, the adhesive into the fibers of the paper. Okay, so there is your tube, right? And while it's still kind of wet and it will dry, go ahead and kind of form it a little bit. Kind of, you know, work with it and form it into a circle. Okay. Once again, your seam is going to be on the back side, so don't worry about how it looks. Okay. So just kind of form it into a circle. Start forming it into a little bit of a circle. Okay. So I'm going to put that aside for a second, and then I'm going to grab some chipboard. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, I have an EK Success circle cutter, and I know for my round box bottom, I want to cut it at 3 3/4 inch. So I'm going to go find the 3 3/4 inch mark, which is right here, like that. Okay, kind of get it ready. And I'm just going to see, yeah, it makes it through. And I'm just going to take it, and I'm just going to go around a few times. And you'll kind of feel it start to free up. And it may not go all the way through, but that's okay. It gives you a guide to where to cut it with your scissors, okay? But if you're using with a new blade, it should pop out. Okay, so this one's not going to do it all the way. It's got some. Okay, push it from the front toward the back, so when the paper rips, which it will, actually what you could do is kind of pre-score it, and I can't see in my light. Push it back in, so when the paper tears, it'll the paper will be on the back side. Do y'all see that? Sorry. Okay. Okay, everybody, I'm back. Just wanted to give you, I want to tell you what I'm doing. Sorry I had to get the phone. I've got some craft cardstock here, right? And I am going to cut it to 1 1/4 over here like that. Okay, once again, craft cardstock, cut to 1 1/4. Then I'm going to take it and put it on my scoreboard, right? And I'm going to score it in half at 5/8 ish. Okay, and that was 5/8, right? Yeah, 5/8. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my 1/2 inch score tape. You can use quarter for this. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you come up around 1/8 of an inch off the edge. I'm going to put this up to the score line, okay? Stickiness everywhere. And up to the edge of the score line. And I'll show you why in a second, and I'll show you why we're doing it like this. The punches, let me show you the punch. Okay, this is the Fiskars punch. Totally the reason why I bought this was for these dog ears, okay? If you recall back in, let's see, February, I made my heart box for Valentine's Day, and I made the same thing. I did round hearts, the top of the hearts, and to make the box, you need something to go around it. Okay, you do not have to have this Fiskars punch. It made my life easier, and it's a good investment for me. And so, what you could do is just do your own dog ears, or just slice into it. You know what I mean? But I'm going kind of completely off what I'm trying to say here, off topic, but. It'll mean something here in a second. So I'm going to punch here, and that is the reason why we came down 1/8 of an inch, okay? Because it punches 1/8 of an inch. This right here is 1/8 of an inch, okay? So I'm going to go back over here and line it up and do it again. Now this may be punch abuse, you know what I mean? For a little punch, but I think I've done it several times and it's held up, so it takes it. So gotta love Fiskars. Okay, so line that last part up. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here. It is off. There we go. Missed it. Last. Let's see. Okay. Where am I? Okay, and then I'm going to turn it around to the other side and do the exact same thing. Does it matter at all if it's lined up or not? Clever, and you did this the right way, you could pull this off in one fell swoop. And God knows I have taken this and had to pull off every one of these little suckers. So whatever makes you happy, if it does better for you just to cut it with, snip it in and doing little angles, then, do it. But I like the way it finishes it off. I think it's really a nice way to finish off the edge. Okay, so I'm going to turn my box over. And I'm starting, I only did one side, right? So I'm going to start putting this down, probably away from my seam, and pushing it in like this on that score line. And glasses would be good here, like that. Don't worry about that, just kind of like get it started. You can go back and fix it. Just kind of put some down. Y'all see that? Yeah. So I'm going around the edge like that. Okay, I'm going to need a little bit more. So now I'm going to put that down. Okay. And then I'm going to do it from the inside a little bit, so it'll be better. I'm going around in a circle with my fingers pushing up against it. Okay. And so now I'm going to grab this side. Okay, now that the tape is off of both sides, I'm going to push these up against it on this side. I'm just pushing those in. But that is totally stable now. You know what I mean? And just kind of cleans up the bottom, and then you put your paper on top of that. And it's got a nice, clean, round edge here. And that is how you can make a round box for your panorama. So that's it. I hope you got something from it. I hope that it wasn't too crazy for you to follow. And email me if you have any questions. Thanks a bunch.